Mike McCarthy over the weekend became the latest head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's introduced today at a 2 p.m. Eastern press conference. And, it's funny. They act like they don't hear the criticism, but they hear the criticism because on Sunday there was a long article posted at Steelers.com with extensive quotes, exclusive quotes to the website he owns and operates. Art Rooney II justifying and explaining the decision to hire Mike McCarthy. And in the article itself, the guy who wrote it acknowledged that the initial reaction among the fan base to the hiring of Mike McCarthy has been largely negative. And my theory, Chris, in a nutshell, is this is another example where Steelers fans think they are doing something that is beneath them. All due respect to Mike McCarthy, just if you narrow it down to John Harbaugh and Mike McCarthy, there was a land rush for one guy. Teams were thinking about firing their head coaches to try to hire John Harbaugh. Mike McCarthy was available 2019, crickets. 2025, one interview with like 5 or 6 openings. He got one interview. Yeah. This year, Titans and the Giants interviewed him, and the other teams didn't. The fans, I think, are upset because they feel like the Steelers are settling for less than what they could get. All due respect to Mike McCarthy, that's the vibe that's out there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, he's one that maybe doesn't – he's better than what his reputation is. But I think because of Green Bay, the way it worked out there, right, was with the greatest quarterback of the era and the guy that, everybody looked at in the NFL was like, whoa, he's the best player. It's not even close, and they only got to the Super Bowl once. I think that kind of hurt him. The way it ended in Dallas, even though there was a lot of success, some game management stuff at certain points of his early times in Dallas led to him, kind of being laughed at on social media. I think all of that does it. He's one of those guys that no doubt is rare that deserves a third chance, definitely. But at the same time, I understand Pittsburgh fans because, when they were saying he might go to the Giants, I was a little bit like, I like Mike McCarthy. There's some really good things I know he can do, but, man, let somebody else let him have his third chance. That's kind of how I felt, and I can understand Steelers fans feeling that way as well.
All right, if you could have had Harbaugh or McCarthy, you clearly go Harbaugh, right?
Right.
But Tomlin or McCarthy, you clearly go Tomlin. Yeah. That's not even for discussion.
Right.
Stefanski or McCarthy, who would you have preferred?
Ooh, I would have gone McCarthy there. Okay. Yeah. McCarthy, this is the one thing I think teams are always tough. They're always physical, right? They're pretty detailed. The thing I think we always question a little bit with him is, some of the situational football and creativity overall on the offensive side of the ball, right? Is it next level stuff? I think those are the things that, you hear, or at least guys like me evaluate and look at, but he certainly got an unfair deal in Dallas and didn't deserve to be fired there. So that's where it's messed up, and I'm glad to see him back on his feet, and I do think there's some positives about him being there with the Steelers.
He had 3 straight 12-5 seasons.
Right.
The Steelers haven't had many of those lately, but they did start in Dallas 2-7, and the roof will cave in, even though there isn't a roof on the stadium, if the Steelers start 2-7. The Aaron Rodgers dynamic is going to be critical here. Art Rooney said in this item at Steelers.com they hope to make a decision in the next month or so. It's very delicate because, Aaron Rodgers is going to hang on every word they say, and he's going to try to interpret things. And do they want him? Does he want to come back? And I go back to, and I've linked to it a couple of times, Chris, in recent days, the Tyler Dunn article when he was working for Bleacher Report back in 2019, 2018. No, it was 2019. Here, this line, and this is attributed to an unnamed source, said this to Tyler Dunn at the time. McCarthy has a low football IQ, and that used to always bother Aaron. He'd say Mike has one of the lowest IQs, if not the lowest IQ of any coach he's ever had. So, right or wrong, if that's true, is Aaron Rodgers really going to want to hang around in Pittsburgh for another year? Is he going to want to do Mike McCarthy Part 2 all over again?
Or the other way around. Is Mike McCarthy going to want to deal with Aaron Rodgers all over again? I doubt it, but that speaks to what I was talking about a little too. He's an offensive coach, and my years and their greatness of the Green Bay Packers and their offense with Aaron Rodgers, the plays couldn't have been more simple. You were like, this is really the most basic offense in football. It's just the quarterback is the biggest freak of nature we've ever seen, and he's making it happen. And I think that's why a little bit of that, what do I want to say, aura or thought is behind Mike McCarthy there.
Hey. He walked into Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and then he walked into Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
They don't have that in Pittsburgh. They need to go find it and develop. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.